What is going on, guys? Joey here. And before we get into what I believe will be a very useful video, if not good review for many of you, I would like to humbly ask for your like. I don't really know what's going on. I feel like my channel has been shadow banned. I understand that when I post different content, it's going to be weird. But I mean, if I'm making a video that people are DMing me, wow, this is a great video, and it's like not even getting 40 likes and it has like 850 views. I feel like it should be at least 10% of that. So if you do like the video, go ahead and drop a like. Hell, if you didn't like the video, put a dislike so I can at least know that. That being said, today I would like to talk about RPE percentages and choosing weights. Where do I start? I was talking to one of my lifters about why I like RPE and things like that, and I brought up, the RPE chart, right? There's a lot of different ones out there, but many moons ago, I believe it might have been Mike T who put out the first one. I know that it was adopted from running, like other sports, but basically you can use an RPE chart. There's like a lot of them out there, and they're kind of like in a similar range between a couple percentage points. And the chart can help you, I say it's a place to start, right? The thing is with RPE is you're going to be different every day. You're going to feel different, every day. You're not always going to feel amazing. You're not always going to feel bad. But it's important to just sort of understand where you are for the day. And unless you're really good at picking your, some lifters, they just kind of zone out and they're just lifting and they're not really paying attention to their body or how they feel or how things are moving. They don't record themselves, which I highly recommend. So if you don't really know where you're at for the day, what you can do is, let's say you have a single and 3 back down sets of 5. You can hit your single, you can watch your video, and if you're by yourself, you don't have a coach, you can say, okay, I think that was RPE 8. Okay, so you RPE 8, then you look at the chart, you see a single, so 1 rep, RPE 8, what percentage is that? And then if you follow the chart down, you can find the rep range that you have to go to next, and then what RPE is, what percentage, and then you can take that percentage of what your estimated max would be for the day based on your single, and that can give you a place to start. Now, typically, you just do your single and you already know, okay, this is how I felt. I'm going to lower the weight now to XYZ, and, now you're good to go. But that might take time for you to master. More experienced lifters, they could literally just train straight off of instinct, and they're going to get stronger. They already know what they're looking for. They've been working on it for a long time. And, it's not something that they've had to do. But if you're like more of a beginner and you want to use RPE, you can do that in the beginning until you get used to it. And then once you get used to it, you probably don't need to use it. And I always tell people, like, after your first set, the chart kind of goes out the window because your workout is going to affect that original number. The more that you progress through your workout, the more that original number is going to get messed up, and you're not going to be able to hit that number anymore. So it's just a place to start. If like people would like and they don't understand what I'm saying, I could like actually get on the camera, pull up my screen, show you guys a chart, show you an example of how to use it. But I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And that's the thing that you need to understand with RPE is, like, it changes all the time. It changes based on like how you're feeling and what's going on. It's not just like a static thing. That's why it's so powerful, is because you're going to do a workout based on you for today. You're not going to do a workout that you have no business doing, And that's why when you deal with percentage-based training, one example is if you're not choosing your weights light enough, you have a younger lifter that's very, they don't want to back down. They're going to try to force through that workout and hit the percentage that was given to them no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, they're just going to just run themselves into the ground and generate so much fatigue that's probably going to affect them later on in the program. I've also seen this with accessories, right? If the accessory is, if you overdo it, I mean, you might have done great on your comp lift, but now you're adding in all this extra fatigue through a different movement that wasn't far enough from the comp lift to where you could safely do it. And it's just gonna like wreck everything and your ego, like, big time. You know, you're gonna just be very humbled because you're gonna be like, wow, I don't know, I had a good, you know, I was in the pocket and bench, but this next bench day I feel like shit. Well, it's because you went nuts on your accessories, right? You hit, you know, your dumbbells. It's usually like a machine or a compound barbell movement, something like that. I don't know, overhead press, whatever. You smashed it and it just obliterated the pressing muscles, so you go into the next session, you're dead. This can also apply to lower bodies, not just bench or whatever, right? So there's that. Percentage-based training can absolutely work in the beginning, especially if you're very conservative. You pick a conservative max. But like, there's so many free percentage-based programs out there that are decent. You know, you could just run those, right? I love RPE because it's so, like, the workout that you end up doing for the day on paper looks very bland and plain, but what you end up actually doing is extremely customized for how you're feeling on that day. And that's what I love about it. Yeah, I remember back in the day, 2016, when Mr. John Hack won Worlds, the IPF had me on their page to do a Q&A. And there are so many people that were just anti, you know, they were just anti-RPE. They were just like, how? Like, da-da. And it was like kind of like not as proven. But, you know, we had already been using it for a while at that point, over a year. I was very confident in everything that we were doing. And over time, you know, nobody was talking about staying in the pocket. Don't overshoot. You know, what was the other one? There's just sayings and things that people do now that are just so common and mainstream that, like, I kind of feel like we helped promote that and really make that a normal thing. We showed everyone, hey, I know you guys are so used to these type of training methods, right? The famous old, even like website style of training or whatever. But there's this way, there's this other way that you can train. It's actually, I've mentioned this study. I need to find the exact study where they had like athletes come in and they would do some kind of like test before, and that would determine like, okay, how do you feel today? And it's like a B, or C, and depending on what grade you get, you could do a workout based on how you're feeling. And those athletes got much better results than the ones who just did like a flat program throughout. So, you know, it's literally that. That's kind of what RPE is. You're doing a workout. It's powerlifting, so you're doing squat, bench, deadlift, but you're doing it based on how you're feeling for the day. So that's all that it is. Now, some lifters, I understand, you just want to be told the weight, but I just don't feel like, I mean, unless you don't do anything, there's nothing that you do in your life that would affect your ability to perform. I just don't think, you know, you're going to be doing, if you're just mindlessly doing a weight that was predetermined by another person, I mean, you have to be kind of adaptive to get the best workout, you know, in my opinion. Quality over quantity as well. You're not going to be doing like junk volume. You're not just going to be sitting there hitting like mindless amounts of volume. Now, you can have percentage-based training with some of these principles as a backstop. For example, if you're doing a 3x5 at 79%, and then if you feel like shit, you're going to drop it to an RPE 7 or 6 on after your first set. Yeah, that's like totally feasible, and that could work. But it's all intertwined, and once you kind of understand what I'm talking about and the way that we do things, it's all going to work. It's all going to, they're going to be more similar. And as long as you have that component of auto regulation, you're going to be okay. All right, that's all I wanted to talk about today. If you made it this far, let me just drop a like. Let me know if you learned something. The reason why I'm talking about likes is because it's like, okay, if I'm going to take the time to pump these out, could I be doing something else? Could I be working on something else in the meantime? And it's like, if people aren't benefiting from this channel anymore, I might start something else. I might take it down and do a different thing. I've considered this many times. So, I suppose I'm going to be paying attention over the next month and just kind of seeing how things go, seeing if people are still interested. Otherwise, I might do something else. So, but anyway, thank you guys so much for watching or listening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.